can't take it anymore. My mind's about to go to war. I need someone to save me from myself, to hear me cry when I call out for help. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Another day to lose control. There's a fire in my bones. My sight gets blurry, pushing back the tears. Should take a leap of faith and face my fear. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Like a volcano. Blow it up like a volcano. What you do to me? Can't you see what it means Got drunk off your love, and I lost myself again. You hit just like a drug. This time I won't let you in. You're playing with fire. No, I didn't numb the pain, but this time I won't collapse like I did yesterday. You broke my heart once again. I won't buy the dust in return. I can't give it, I can't give it, I won't give it this time. You broke my heart once again. Well, you're bad, but you're bad it for me. I can't give it, I can't give it. I've already run with the wolves, far from the light of the day. I can't go back to you, I'm stronger today. Been to the dark side, I don't know. So if you wanna shoot far away, I won't go back to you. I'm stronger, I'm stronger, I'm stronger today. I'm stronger today. Tú tienes la pócima para enloquecerme, pero voy a draw the line. Que yo ya sé que es de ti. I got to stay away, got to stay away. Sé que como un trofeo quieres tenerme, pero I don't need no one. Que yo ya sé que es de ti. I got to stay away, got to stay away. No, 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 baby, no, 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 no setbacks. No, 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 baby, no, 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 this time. You broke my heart once again. I won't buy the dust in return. I can't give it, I can't give it, I won't give it this time. You broke my heart once again. Well, you're bad, but you're bad it for me. I can't give it, I can't give it. I've already run with the wolves, far from the light of the day. I can't go back to you, I'm stronger today. Been to the dark side, I don't know. So if you wanna shoot far away, I won't go back to you. I'm stronger, I'm stronger, I'm stronger today. I'm stronger today. There you were on the other side of the room. Place was filled, but all I could see was you. You're magnetic, captivating, and you know it's true. Sent a smile and you started to make your way through. The crowd, it grew so loud. You and I didn't even care. I never wanna get used to the sound you whispering in my ear. I've loved you
All right, hello everybody. Long time no see. It has actually been a while. We had a couple of casts scheduled late last week that didn't end up happening, and scrambling a little bit to get this one to you today. I know I'm late, 8 o'clock series instead of 7 today, but have University of Toronto versus Indiana coming up. It's going to be an exciting one. And mentioned scrambling because the game client went out of date right as the lobby was about to get kicked off, so I'm trying to make sure I make my way back into it before they do start this game without me, but wanted to show up, wanted to say hello. I know it's been a little while. I do have to apologize for sending out stream notifications last week. Had, I think, officially the shortest stream ever, at least the shortest that I've done. I think I ended up seeing that it was like 26 seconds. I could probably tell you, actually. I've got it pulled up over on the side. It ended up being... yes, 26-second VOD. So RIP to that one. But, you know, did just see that we had reschedules. Not reschedules, actually. That was a forfeit coming through. Cal Poly forfeit that one last minute last week. So it is what it is. You know, sometimes we have situations come up and we will move forward through it. Let me just get back into the lobby here. I've got new information being sent my way, and thankfully teams are pretty good nowadays at you know, keeping me in the loop and making sure that we don't start games without me. But you know, it does happen occasionally. It doesn't make for the best intro when I've got my focus very much elsewhere, so I don't hold up the game. But let's see if this doesn't exist somewhere. Still, hopefully everyone's doing alright tonight. See people trickling in, which I appreciate everyone for stopping by, for watching. You know, this league can't happen without people paying some attention, and I think it is cool that we do have people keeping track of these games. It's a, you know, exciting thing for me. It's exciting for the players, and hopefully it's exciting to get to watch some collegiate Dota. You know, not necessarily the top MMR games, but we've developed ourselves a pretty strong league over the couple of years that we've been running it in this current iteration, and I think it's shaped up pretty nicely. I mean, gone are the days where you have Herald versus Guardian stacks just kind of existing and then occasionally getting stomped by top 300 Immortal. We're pretty much hovering around that Immortal average across the board for teams. I know there's a couple of teams that are a little bit lower, but even when we say that there's lower teams, you know, they're hovering, you know, Ancient plus really on the low end. So I think it's been a very exciting season so far, you know, this season and last season as well. We didn't see too many teams shaken up in the meantime. But I don't know where I'm going with that. That's kind of the end of where I'm going with that. I think it's been a lot of fun to kind of grow with the league and help grow the league, and hopefully going into the next season. You know, I haven't talked about the upcoming shakeups that are happening as a result of the league format shift, but at least I haven't talked about it in a while. But I think we're all aware of it, and hoping that the league can, you know, continue in some form. And I think we're in good shape going into next year. I'm definitely feeling a lot better about it than I was, you know, when I first heard the news come through. Still, enough about that. Let's get into this game, as it looks like the lobby has been fixed, has been found. Just digging through a little bit of the stats here. Looks like IU is up to 2-2 at this point, losing games to USF, losing games to Georgia Tech, and Toronto, I believe, is still undefeated. Let me just confirm that one before I say it out loud. But yeah, they are undefeated, and notably haven't played Georgia Tech, haven't played USF so far. So haven't played against the teams Indiana has lost to. Still, I would be expecting going into this game, going into this series, that that University of Toronto is the stronger team. They're definitely the ones to watch out for in this game. And when we were talking at the beginning of the season about who really were the teams to watch out for, the strongest teams in the league, I think it was pretty unanimous that we had Georgia Tech on top, we had University of Toronto on top, and then USF was trying to sneak their way in. They made a very strong showing early on in the league, and then have started to fade a little bit in recent memory. But it's been very exciting to watch the East Coast division shape up so far. As Toronto up there on 4-0, USF down to 3-1. Just to give you that quick update. I know I haven't updated the standings graphic, and I totally did misspeak, by the way. University of Toronto was playing USF last week. That's the series we just touched into right at the end of their game number 2. And U of Toronto did win that one 2-0, and some pretty stompy games. If I remember looking into that one, they were not as close as we would have thought, considering how well USF was playing early on in the season. But I think those are losses that USF are definitely going to be looking to bounce back from, as, like I said, they are, you know, very much a competitive team. Looking in a little bit deeper on the Indiana side, right now at 2-2, they're tied for that 4th place position underneath those top 3 teams we were just mentioning. Tied with Brown right now at 2-2, and notably do have the tiebreaker over Brown right now in the head-to-head win. They did win their series against Brown 2-1, Indiana did. So it's putting themselves in pretty good position to try and come out ahead in this kind of battle for the 4th place playoff spot. Now remember, only the top 4 teams in each division are going to be making the playoffs this season. So the East Coast is going to have 4 teams qualify. So that 4th place battle is going to be very important as the season does shape up. We're about halfway through the season at the moment, with each of these teams today having played half of their games so far. And in case you're not aware, actually, and something I probably shouldn't have buried this deep into the beginning of the cast, is that going forward, we're going to have more matches scheduled per week. So I've been trying to give us as comprehensive a coverage as I can. I know I've been a little bit light on the West Coast games. Just kind of naturally how the scheduling shakes out. The East Coast ones are easier for me to handle, as they do start up earlier, and running the back-to-back only an hour and a half apart does make it difficult for me to kind of latch onto that second series of the night. But I've been trying to give pretty comprehensive coverage and cover some of the reschedules, cover some of the replays later on in the week as well. Well, for the next 2 weeks after this week, so starting Monday the 11th, we're going to have a Monday series and a Wednesday series default schedule. So reschedules will still be allowed. There's going to be a lot up in the air, a lot of kind of chaos and confusion happening. I'm going to try and give you as many games as I can, and I'm going to start to filter them out towards playoff implication games, and then some of the top games that we'll want to watch as well. So what that's going to look like is we're going to see a lot of these battles for, you know, 3rd, 4th, 5th place in both the East and the West Coast division. Probably going to see a little bit less of the teams that are at the bottom of the league at the moment. And we'll make sure to check in on some of the top teams that are still undefeated. We have a total of 5 undefeated teams across the league so far. Now, some of those are from reschedules, but yeah, 3 teams currently at 4-0. 1 team at 3-0, and 1 more at 2-0. So a lot of teams to watch out for, and we're going to see some undefeated matchups sooner rather than later as we approach the end of the regular season in just a couple of weeks. So I don't have too much hard scheduling to share at the moment with what what those couple of weeks are going to look like. I haven't even really looked forward at the scheduling myself, just knowing how the reschedules have been, how it's trended this season. I'm very cautious to look too far ahead. But we'll be bringing you as many games as we possibly can. I know it's going to be less than we're accustomed to, but then once we do come back into the playoffs, we'll be having each and every game covered. So don't worry about that one. Another team also we probably won't see any more of this season, at least on this channel, is going to be the University of Michigan, just because I do know that they have their own like home broadcast on YouTube. That's at Michigan Esports on YouTube, I believe. And in kind of the spirit of getting comprehensive coverage, I don't want to be taking their games and having double coverage of theirs and missing out on games across the league. So that's how I'm going to handle it for now. And I'm sure going forward, not this season, but into future seasons, we can probably work something out that's a little bit more robust to make sure that we're having better coverage across the board. I think there's a few things administratively that need to change. That's a little bit more behind the scenes, and I don't need to get into that. And then there's also some stuff that just planning wise would be you know, significantly better for me, even to, you know, make sure I've got a plan for what games should be covered and what games, you know, maybe won't be, instead of kind of opening up the board and being like, ah, okay, there was 8 reschedules this week. What can I actually do? So I think you know, figuring that out going forward is going to be the biggest challenge, and it's going to get worse before it gets better, because, you know, like I was alluding to, the rest of this regular season is going to be pure chaos, not only from the qualification standpoint, but also just from the scheduling standpoint. So if you are interested in following along with these teams, make sure you do just turn on the notifications. You know, make sure you follow the channel, sub to the channel, whatever floats your boat, whatever gets you turning on those notifications, because I will just kind of be going live whenever games are available to be brought to you. So hopefully going to have plenty more Dota to watch over the next couple weeks of the regular season, and through I think it's the mid to end of April, like the 22nd or something is the scheduled date for the finals here. So lots more Dota to bring you before the end of this season of NACE, but just kind of walking through some of the plans going into it. We do have a draft underway, by the way, and can't see it beneath me, as I'm sure you're following along. University of Toronto just picking up some pretty solid heroes here. The Venge, the Luna. Spirit Breaker, a little bit interesting coming out from them as well. Wondering if they're going to put that into the 3 position, or if they are going to be just running it as that extra support. I'm a big fan of Spirit Breaker ever since we did see it gain the popularity in not only the offlane but the mid. I think teams have realized how much chaos the Spirit Breaker hero does provide into team fights, and you know, it really is one of those heroes that, left unchecked, can just take over games kind of out of nowhere. You get 1 or 2 items, and it never feels good to kill off the Spirit Breaker, but he's always running through your front line, running through your back line, and with the bulldoze, he's pretty hard to take down as well. So kind of annoying. Indiana, though, with the tools right now to deal with them at least a little bit, the Timbersaw and the Tiny can provide significant burst even against the Spirit Breaker. Tiny, of course, the Avalanche being the little mini stun points, doesn't really care about the bulldoze. Toss as well, one of those spells, won't care about the bulldoze. And Timber, well, he wasn't going to stun you to begin with, he's just going to lay out all the damage. And we've seen some very fun Timber builds. It's one of the more contested heroes in this current patch. I've been finally catching up on some of my professional Dota, watching some of the Dream League Season 22 group stage. We're in the 2nd group stage coming out now, and that's coming to an end. But I did get to check out some of those games the last couple of days, just in a little bit of spare time. And, you know, there's a lot of interesting heroes. I'm actually a pretty big fan of what the meta looks like at the moment. Mars, one of those heroes that really we have seen resurge back into the meta, and you know, the build on the Mars in particular is very fun with the Yules. The Arena Spear was kind of seen by Valve, and all of a sudden they were like, yes, we want this combo. It's banned out this game, so we're not going to see University of Toronto have the opportunity, but the Dragon Knight did slip its way through. This is one of the heroes that I think has been banned every single game that I've watched professionally. In the first phase, it's one of those heroes that really is a slam first pick nowadays. Even after the nerfs to Mage Slayer, even after the nerf to the ult. Still just one of those heroes that you hit level 20, you have 4,500 HP with like a Manta and an Aghanim Scepter. And you just say, oh yeah, go ahead, try and kill me. And it's pretty difficult to do that. I mean, it's no joke. Mage Slayer still a pretty nice build up on him as well, and he'll be going for it this game, certainly, against the Timbersaw, against the Puck.
10 seconds remaining.
We'll see if they decide to throw the Dragon Knight in the mid lane, or if it will be headed to the off lane. I'm a much bigger fan of the off lane DK, as I think most players are nowadays, but it does have that mid potential, and against Puck, you're not too unhappy to play in the mid lane. Sure, you don't really stop Puck from farming, but there's not a lot of kill threat Puck onto DK. You just put a couple of points in that Dragon's Blood, and you know, you can pretty much tank up every attack coming through. Even once the Witchblade comes out for Puck, there's not a ton of threat there. Eventually, you will just be able to take down the tower with the early Dragon form. So, I think Toronto right now are looking very solid, very scary around this 25-30 minute mark where DK is going to have items, Luna's going to be ready to push. They even have Avenge, who's going to be going most likely for some kind of Vlad's Drums buildup. I know people do like to get this Aghanim Scepter item, but on the 5 Venge, I think that the priority is just going to be to find the aura items, sit behind the Luna, and take advantage of this really scary timing. And Indiana, I mean, they're going to have to try and deal with it with the Timbersaw. They've got supports that are willing to hold towers in the Witch Doctor, and Tiny will be going for a Blink Dagger and trying to take heroes down. The real question is, do you have enough to stop the ball? And I think the answer is a hard maybe for Indiana. I think this last pick is going to have to do work for them. Coming out in their safe lane, I want to make sure that Indiana are going to be taking some kind of up-tempo safe lane that's not too afraid to get involved in fights early, because I think if you pick something too slow, the game will just be over before you come online. Now, one thing I have noticed is Toronto just ignored the Sven, and the opinions coming out of pros nowadays is if Sven makes it to second phase, you pick it, and you say any Sven that makes it to second phase has a good Sven game. Toronto, of course, not going to be picking up a carry in this last slot, so it will be ignored. So they go for a Night Stalker, so they do all in on this tempo style draft, and I really do think it is the Sven game here. I think it's one of the heroes that can get on top of the Luna. You have some issues with the swap and getting kited. Spirit Breaker as well can cause some issues to you, but we've seen recently you can go for the kind of Mask of Madness build, you can do the Disassemble, you can go for the Aghanims. Oh, and I totally forgot, this is Indiana, so it's an Altius draft. He doesn't play fun heroes, he plays whatever safe lanes are left. Big anti-mage player, big PA player. PA really not in a good position, not in a good standpoint. Current meta, current patch, I mean, it's not the most fun hero to play, but it's what Altius is comfortable with, so he will pick it up. We've seen him be very capable with it in the past, but I'm very worried. University of Toronto is a very strong team, and they understand their timings. This is one of the bigger points that I've taken away from watching Toronto play so far in this season, and you know, we weren't sure exactly with Toronto splitting into 2 lineups this season from last what was going to be the overall outcome, if the team cohesion was still going to be there, and absolutely it has remained for University of Toronto. The Boundless lineup, I'll say, but really for both lineups have been looking incredibly strong. But both lineups for Toronto really do understand timings in Dota, and they've drafted a lineup that's all about that early mid-game timing. A timing that PA really is, you know, still looking for that one extra item to be able to really come online in fights. So I think Altius is going to be in for an uphill battle in this one. I think additionally into Luna, into Night Stalker, you're not the happiest as the game does go later. Nowadays with the Luna Shard coming through as well, it's... Oops, sorry about that. Okay, game was a little bit broken, but we're okay. But anyway, going on into Luna, you know, nowadays with the Glaive Shard, you know, Luna's a pretty high armor carry and has the bonus damage and melee range coming through, can tank up extra damage. You're playing into Swap, into DK. I mean, everyone's so tanky, actually, on Toronto. There's no easy jumps, and even if you do find someone Leechy King in the backlines, on this Vengeful Spirit, going to be looking for those defensive swaps. So I think coming out of draft, Toronto definitely to be favored here, not only in terms of the overall matchup, but definitely coming out with some draft advantage as well.
30 seconds to battle.
It's all coming together.
If you do hear me sniffling a little bit, I apologize. I'm hoping the mic doesn't really pick up on it, but I think it might just. I am coming down with a little something, but the show must go on. The casts will continue. As the horn sounds, game gonna get underway, and teams not gonna run into each other, but it looks like Toronto with some pretty good positioning gonna be able to snatch away the extra rune as Indiana made their way as 5 into the Radiant jungle. So 3 runes going Toronto's way. We'll force out a TP or 2 as Luna gonna want to get to lane on time. And look at this. Night Stalker thrown into the mid, and they're gonna put Dragon Knight in the off lane. So wanting to dodge that PA matchup perhaps. I'm actually very interested by this. I feel like the Night Stalker matchup into PA shouldn't be all that bad. 5 armor base on the Night Stalker. But wanted to put the DK up there instead. So he's getting ticked down by the Maledict. The extra clicks coming through, another dagger, and General Lethal, he's just gonna be dead. Taking down the courier as well. Gonna fall. Spearbreaker not able to provide enough control with that level 1 bash, just not lucky enough. Always 17% is more like 7 when you do skill this up first, of course. Never lucky with the bashes. So I am just very interested why they didn't throw the DK into the mid lane like I was expecting. I think this probably will slow down their tempo a little bit. As Night Stalker, he's going to find it a little bit harder to get aggressive this first nighttime. Playing into the puck, and I guess Spearbreaker is going to make his rotations to the mid, and they're going to try and kill off puck with the silence picked up on Night Stalker perhaps, but just feels a little bit more awkward to me. And again, up top, the Maledict came through. Pair of kills onto Dragon Knight. Both of them going Witch Doctor's way. And he's not going to have a TP on the Dragon Knight. He's going to have to make the walk of shame. Coming out from the base here, just 2 minutes into the game. 2 big kills from this Indiana top lane. Haven't checked in on this bot, but Luna has been farming away against the Timbersaw. This is one of those matchups that's gotten significantly better in recent memory against the Timber. Luna did used to struggle pretty hard when it was reactive armor based Timber, where you can't really put any harass onto the Timbersaw, and then Timber did just get levels fast enough back in the day where you basically get kicked out of lane super early. Now Luna can stand her ground a lot better. Do see the 1 point in reactive armor is something that I wanted to highlight here, and the build I've been seeing most often recently has been 0 points reactive armor, and you just go 102 generally. You can go 201 if you have the opportunity for some bonus damage, and with Tiny in lane, sounds pretty reasonable to me as we see how much that level 2 Whirling Death can do to Lychee King, as they'll dive onto the tower for this kill, see if they can't find a Jlay. Had the Whirling Death coming up, I had to back off, didn't want to take too many tower shots. So not going to find the kill for himself. Still missing that Timber Chain. Does cost him that kill potentially. Head back to the mid lane, check out how this is going, as Night Stalker is up on top of the CS board. 6 denies to his name as well for Holy Moly, so having a good time, but it's up in the top again where we see some danger as it looks like Spearbreaker caught by the Maledict. Gonna be going down, trying for the deny, and oh, the Fairy Fire gives him enough for it. What a player. Red Wine and Sleeping Pills. Don't know what his actual name is, if there's something he wants to go by, but he's earned himself a nice glass after the game with that neutral creep deny. Always feels good, especially as they've been bleeding kills up in the top, to make sure you don't give away that extra one, because too many kills to a PA. I mean, I talked about how PA might be a little bit slow in this game. Well, if she's able to get to an early Battle Fury, LTS will be able to put in a lot of work, and PA is one of those heroes that is kind of always a menace in pubs, because you get 2-3 items, you know, Battle Fury, Desolator BKB, or Battle Fury +1 with the BKB. You have enough damage to really just kill everyone. And, you know, it can be hard to deal with, especially coming from a head like this. So don't be fooled by the 17 CS. PA absolutely not behind here. 8 denies as well, so having an absolute world of time. Meanwhile, it's 8 CS over for Dragon Knight. Gonna be suffering. See that he's got the Midas queued up to try and come back into this game, but it's not easy. I mean, it's really, really not easy. When you get shut down this hard against Dragon Knight, because your biggest strength on this hero is that you can just occupy the lane until you hit level 6. Once you get the dragon for him, you just put pressure onto the tower, and if you get kicked out against a PA, there's not going to be space for this hero to just recover on the map. And Indiana, all of a sudden, with their draft, could be taking over more lanes. As Luna will want to leave this bot lane early on. I mean, you don't want to stay here once Timber gets towards that level 6, as significant pressure will come through to dive the tower with that pickup of the Chakram. Saw the TP in from Spirit Breaker, looking for a potential kill onto Jlay. They should know he doesn't have the Timber chain, level 3 Timber. Hasn't used it yet, so should be at least somewhat aware, but not going for the kill just yet. Looks like maybe waiting for some mana, but a nice 2-man avalanche. Gonna cancel any kill forward, and with that show, it's gonna force General Lethal even further outside of this lane as Altius just continues to farm freely up in the top lane. So Indiana having their way with the side lanes. It is the mid lane that University of Toronto has been able to do well in, and with this first nighttime, holy moly, he's going to look to put some additional pressure. Going to pop the Dark Ascension, and well, there was a little bit of a gap there where Puck maybe could have gotten a spell off, but wasn't enough to get anything. So it's going to be the solo kill coming through from the Night Stalker first to the level 6, and guess that's the reason why they wanted to throw it into the mid lane here, as with the 6-minute runes of spawning, gonna have pretty good control, and it even spawns top. So holy moly, gonna be able to pick that one up. Has the siege creep available, so sticking around, continuing his pressure onto this mid tower, and takes it down to about 1/3 HP as well, by the way. Up top might just have another kill coming out onto the Dragon Knight. General Lethal getting run down. Your Witch Doctor celebrating the kill before it goes through. See if Altius doesn't have another jump available. Thinking about it, and will make the jump underneath the tower. He did turn himself around, and oh, in the mid lane again, Puck goes down. This time didn't have the second round of the silence to throw through, but with the help of the Spirit Breaker, holy moly, finds another kill, and that's huge. On a little bit of a delay here, so maybe this question will get answered by the time you hear it, but I see, is this Immortal rank? Is it just by university? Indiana's not quite Immortal. The University of Toronto definitely is, but it is just by university. Teams put together the strongest teams they can and compete in this league. That's how we do have it organized.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Taking down this mid tower, holy moly, is ready to do it himself, and the deny, well, Ada's going to be able to snatch that one, pops the Dream Coil over, and with the rotation through from Kaizen coming from that top lane, looking for potential kill here, the Maledict, well, looks like not going to be enough. Jlay wasn't able to connect the spells, and still level 5, so didn't have the Chakram to work with for the additional slow. Holy moly, ends up getting himself out. Still, Indiana does set up the deny for that mid tower, but forced to bring 4 heroes to the mid for it. Feels like maybe relieving a little bit of pressure on these side lanes, as seen Mea Culpa down here. Able to find some farm that Luna maybe generally not entitled to down in this bot lane against the Timbersaw. Up to the level 6 now, top of the CS board, and well, not quite top of the net worth. That position belongs to Altius. Mid laners each going to different side lanes. Oh, look at the coconut bouncing through. Altius trying to play his way around, trying to play his way out. The TP did come through from Ada, and Altius gets out to the side. The Maledict starting to put in some significant work, but the charge through on the backside. Red Wine able to disrupt it, and at the end of the day, perhaps just some trading in the paint. Holy moly, looking to go back in, but behind the tower, well, maybe he'll find something. Bonus night vision. Not quite enough. Can't find the angle. Dark Ascension gonna tick out.
Dire are scanning.
He'll run his way away. The scan did connect on to him, but...
Has been killed.
Oh, hold that thought. Tiny came through from the gate. Found the connection onto him, found the angle. Toronto needs to help this one. Need to find the rotation through. Holy moly falling so low, but it's not enough to take him down. And now it's Altius. That's the top net worth hero going down. The Coconut not able to hold him back. This fight just extending longer and longer and longer. And it's Indiana at least able to find a return kill. But this brawl certainly not favoring them in the top as they bring more heroes. It's going to be Dragonite as well into the grave. But Indiana ends up bringing every single hero they have up here. They end up trading 2 for 1. But they lost their PA. And at the end of the day, I mean, not able to find the connection onto Night Stalker. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's okay because he ends up low in this mid lane, but see him bring out the salve. He's going to be able to get the bottle refill as well. And very heavy rotations coming through from Indiana here early on in this game. Jump underneath the tower for Jlay as Invis Rune top going to be picked up. This game is feeling less like a game of Dota and more like a game of 5v5 mid only. I know they've been up in the top lane for a majority of it, but really has been every hero pick a lane and go run at it. Creeps content to hit each other in the side lanes. So now it's Indiana with the siege creep looking to set up for this tower, but will lose the wagon and with it their mid pressure. Couple of Wraith Bands picked up on Jlay, by the way. Haven't seen this build myself. I'm not sure if it's something that I've just been not aware of or if this is some new tech, but with the bonus armor, no need for reactive armor when you're up to 20 stacks. As the kill in the mid lane thought all had settled down, but they were able to find the Night Stalker to the side. We only miss a couple of kills here. You know, it's a good thing that that I'm the only one covering this league. You know, I've got the captive audience here all stuck with me. See the kills, miss the kills. I was too busy focusing on these Wraith Bands. Picked up by the Timbersaw. Still take the tier 1 down here, the smoke. Into this little side jungle, but wasn't going to connect. Not meant to be. Think about defending the top tower, and this is a good defend, by the way. This is level 5 Dragon Knight here, 12 minutes into the game. Timbersaw, plenty of damage over the top. He's looking for the extension. The Timber Chain is going to connect forward. Needs another Chakram, he's going to have it. Doesn't even need his team behind. The maxed out Whirling Death, not quite maxed out, but feels that way when it does that much damage. Red Wine found the angle with the charge onto Altius, has the ult available as well, so he's going to connect this charge, going to throw out that Spirit Break, and going to try and run him down underneath the tower. Altius starting to fall low. Is there enough to hold him back? It looks like no, as Ada caught in the silence as well. We'll end up trading out, and ends up popping the coil on Holy Moly. Still, Shield Rune was in the bottle. The tip comes through, but maybe a little bit premature. Is there enough for the secondary kill? Ada didn't jump to the orb when he had the chance. Does go down. Tip him back. Oh, holy moly. If you've got tips, if you've got the button, make sure you throw that one, as Altius is going to be feeling the heat across his cheeks after throwing that tip, not realizing the shield rune was coming into play. Still 13 minutes in, and feels like this game is relatively even, mostly off the back of University of Toronto really struggling to find anything for their Dragon Knight. And I did touch on how hard it can be for this hero to recover if the lane does go as poorly as it did, and we're seeing it now, struggling to even farm up this small camp. He's looking for the recovery Midas, but so far away, just so far away. It does finish up the level 6, and I'm worried it's not going to be enough for General Lidl to be a threat on the map, and he can just be food, as Indiana could look to target him repeatedly. Still going to work on recovering, and Toronto, well, they're already building the Midas up on the Spirit Breaker, so their 4-core action may just turn into a different tri-core if Spirit Breaker becoming a menace as this game does continue. Gonna have very nice timing, by the way, on the Spirit Breaker Midas. He's almost as farmed as the Puck, which really is not a good sign for Indiana. Does feel as though they're moving closer and closer to the Altius show. As Chile trying to prove that he's still relevant in this one, but gonna be caught out. Pushing his edge a little bit too far, as Toronto did have 4 heroes in the area. Able to connect up here, and they're gonna look to put pressure on the tier 1 tower as well. Quite low, and should be going down. Indiana still hovering around the area, thinking about potentially defending, but gonna be too much, and
Dire's top tower.
gonna lose that one and back off. 6 to 8 here, 15 minutes in. Toronto edging out the slightest of net worth leads, as haven't checked in on Luna, but she's up on top of the net worth board, just trading out with Altius, working towards that Manta style, and has the maxed out aura, has the maxed out glaives, continuing to accelerate that farm in the jungle. Altius Battle Fury was just picked up, so starting to find his farm as well, and he'll head back towards the Ancients. Each of these heroes going to be looking for that next round of items before getting anything too crazy. Mithril Hammer comes out. Looks like Altius has his mind on the BKB first, and I do agree with this choice. I think that we'll need to be ready to fight sooner than later on the PA. Kaizen, a little D-ward, but going to be the target of the charge. Holy moly, he's going to run over as well, and between these two, they're going to have more than enough to swap through. They're going to look for Jlay. He's able to Timber Chain his way away, but the extra stuns coming through the silence. Well, with the Yule Scepter, he's trying, but not quite enough gap separated there before he does go down. So it's going to be the pair of kills for Toronto. Holy moly, looking for more, and Nebula on the low ground. Didn't see it coming, but swap through, and he'll end up paying with his life as well. The TP's forward. Ada thinking about extending this one, but Indiana need to recognize that it's time to give it up. Nice little stab there for Toronto. Not only gets them a couple of kills, but gets them the bot tier 1 tower. Take over the triangle as well and steal some of this safe farm away from Indiana before backing off. And they are hitting this timing, Toronto, that we talked about in the draft, and now's about when it starts. Now is really the early end of when you'd expect this Luna draft to get online, and it's centered around a different hero than we expected. It's going to be Luna, Nightstalker, and Spirit Breaker really causing the chaos instead of Dragon Knight to siege down towers, but for now in this game, it has been enough. For now in this game, it has certainly been enough for them to start to ball down these outer towers, and I'd expect them to go for the tier 2s sooner than later as well. There's the jump forward from Holy Moly. Blink was picked up. Ada not able to get away once again. The charge coming through, but it's from far away. Ada turning around with the Dream Coil. There's enough damage coming through. Ada jumps forward. Actually, the charge gets canceled. The damage not coming through, but eventually with the ult does take him down. They do lose both cores before they're able to find the puck, and now the cleanup crew has arrived. Lychee King and Red Wine trying to run away, trying to get onto the tower. The Spirit Breaker does escape, but Lychee King not going to be so lucky. Indiana, a good job to take down 3 kills there. It looked like they might just lose their puck for free, instead able to turn around and pump out some damage before he does go down. And the Death Ward channel on the back provided ample damage. Altius, what do I know? I talked about how the Mithril Amber might be turned into that BKB. I'll look to get involved early. Well, the Desolator's online. BKB going to be coming up next, so with his team winning that fight in the mid, he's going to feel pretty confident in this decision. As he should be able to farm up the BKB before needing to get involved. Has stalled out the University of Toronto push pretty heavily, losing those couple of kills in the mid. Legion King looking forward for the D ward, but Under Vision will be the target. Blink forward from Nebula. Gonna find the kill. Ada with the Ace Rune was looking forward for more, but not gonna find the connection. Things come through. Ada wants to run up to the high ground. Spots out the Luna, but chasing pretty far here. The blink forward, they're gonna find the Dream Coil onto him, but underneath the tier 2. Oh, what a Manta dodge. Oh, pretty stuff there. That's not an easy one to break the coil with the Manta. And probably saved his life as well, as there's a lot of extension on Indiana. Blink Dagger, Tiny, they've got the Timber Saw as well, the chain forward. Red Wine being a nuisance. Haven't talked about his items, but in the traditional Spirit Breaker fashion, they've accelerated quickly. The Midas picked up, Shadow Blade available as well, and see what the next step will be. Be interested to know if he goes for a Yules this game against the Puck against the Timber Saw. Could be an option that Spirit Breakers aren't traditionally looking for, or at least not out of this third item. Oop, Altius pretty far away from his team. The missile's gonna come through. How much damage can he actually take here? The Swamp ends up taking him down, and now he's dead first. Blade was in as well, but the Eclipse dropped over. Indiana was making the run from top, but it's just too far. Altius was way in the middle of nowhere. And the charge forward, Spirit Breaker's gonna end up on the high ground. Avalanche is off the mark, but he's gonna be tossed underneath the tier 3 tower. The wand, well, surviving him for now, and Red Wine with the Pavis. Somehow okay, he still goes up into the base, eventually goes down. Sometimes the Psycho is good, and sometimes the Psycho is not as good. Holy moly, continuing the fight behind the tower, but will end up blinking away. Things should settle down from there, but Toronto, off the back of the last couple of crazy minutes, have swung their way back up to a 4,000 gold lead. Mea culpa. Farming nicely on the Luna, has reclaimed that top spot, and this time, a couple thousand ahead. See what he's got coming out on the courier for the Luna, and it's the full BKB. So fighting shape is definitely online for the Luna, but the smoke headed straight towards her. See if they can't find the connection. He did spot this one out with the Mantas, but caught on the low ground. Very awkward positioning here. The BKB TP is going to come through, and Altius doesn't quite have the damage there. Needed a couple of more crits to find that one, but right outside the Roche pit, it's going to set him up pretty nicely for Indiana to take this one for free. So all is not lost for Indiana. They're going to get an early Aegis, and this before the BKB has come through for the PA. Going to make Altius a lot more confident to take these next couple of fights. So Aegis into the hands of the PA still. Down 5,000 are Indiana, so gonna need to be careful. Up on the top, you can just see how much Dragon Knight continuing to struggle, but like I talked about, they've given the priority completely over to the Spirit Breaker, who's just been farming away. Headed towards the Octarine. This is the more standard build up on the Spirit Breaker. So DK not going to have much impact, not only now, but really for the rest of this game. It's going to be a struggle. See, he's got the Shard queued up now, and probably a good choice considering the position he's found himself in on General Lidl, that really he's just going to exist to deep push waves and apply this Dragon Breath to the towers, just start to force him down a little bit, but not a big threat hero, this DK, with how little HP pool, how little EHP he's working with. It's not that same 4,000 HP nuisance that I was mentioning in the draft that he could be. Couple of blinks on top of each other. Ada able to get out of that one before the crippling fear did come down. Has the Lincolns queued up, but doesn't solve all of Puck's problems, this Lincoln Spear. Still gonna drop out the Dream Coil. They're looking for this mid laner, and they're gonna find him. Holy moly. Gets burst down by some pretty overwhelming damage. Lychee King really tried with the swap, but wasn't enough to save him. Will end up going down himself as well. So Indiana firing back with a couple of kills, but
Middle tower has fallen.
still feel like they need to accomplish more.
Dire's middle tower.
I mean, it's a pretty great start. They're going to be headed towards the top tower, but all this time, Luna's just farming away, and these smokes are all defensive and reactionary all the way up past the tier 2 tower, which had already gone down. So, I mean, it ends up being good kills, don't get me wrong, but it's just so hard when you're hunting down heroes that aren't really the big one. That is definitely the Luna in this game. Night Stalker's a nuisance, but
Dire's bottom tower.
not the true threat, I don't think, in this game.
Radiant's top
On the bright side for Indiana, Luna is kind of in that position now, 1-0-1, where it hasn't died yet, but, you know, 2 consecutive deaths, or, you know, 2-3 total deaths, could make things very awkward for the University of Toronto side. And throwing kills like this, well, it's not going to help your cause. Redline trying to play a little bit cheeky, he'll clear out the creep wave underneath their noses with the Shadow Blade, but Indiana had the dust, and you can't be playing like that when you're a Spirit Breaker who's really taken over the position 3 role.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Tier 3 pressure being applied, by the way. But General Lidl,
Radiant's top tower.
very poor, has the Mage Slayer completed actually, so becoming more and more relevant on the DK as time does go on. Toronto even giving up these kills. Able to hold on to any base pressure. They did lose their tier 2 in the top lane. So 16-13, Toronto still in the driver's seat, but Indiana have been showing signs of life and definitely coming back into this one. Minute left on the Aegis. PA with the fresh BKB picked up as well. They're going to be looking to push down this tier 2 in the mid lane. Alti is definitely going to be hunting for a jump forward as the Aegis going to be set to timeout shortly. Fan of Knives picked up as well on the PA.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
That extra burst damage coming through is always nice to play with, and, well, they're going to find themselves one more. These kills Toronto have been giving up are very poorly placed, by the way. I mean, it's a couple of kills where you can see the lane pressure. Luna had the illusion rune, so has the lanes all the way in. There's really no need to be running through your own jungle like that. The previous one was Spirit Breaker charging underneath 5 enemy heroes, essentially, who were grouped up to take a tower. And they've really been, you know, stalling out this game. Sure, you stall out the Aegis, but conceding the net worth, conceding the win probability, right back to about 50% as Indiana have been the ones with the momentum recently. Still wouldn't say that they're, strictly speaking, ahead in this game, but feeling less and less behind as Toronto are struggling to put together cohesive gameplay in the last, you know, 6 or 7 minutes. Ever since before the Aegis got taken, honestly, it's more than just, you know, since Aegis that they've been trying to stall. It was before that when, you know, Luna gets caught out and there's no defense, so you give up a free Roche, and you're playing a tempo-based lineup. I think they might have stalled out when Dragon Knight started to suffer, so they've been playing this dodge style ever since, and, you know, thinking about it more, they might just not really understand what kind of position they're in, having their position 4 be so farmed, while their 3 feels, you know, really like he's suffering. You know, the sentiment might just be that the Dragon Knight has no game, so that they're very behind on the Toronto lineup. That might be how the players are feeling. And so they're feeling forced to just, you know, cut waves and hit jungle. Which we've seen them do, you know, I'd say decently well outside the last couple of minutes. Might be overdoing it again here on the Spirit Breaker as Gonna run himself out of rope. Trying to run away with the bulldoze, but the Yule Scepter available to purge it off. Trying to charge away. The Maledict might just take him down regardless. He's gonna try the TP home, but not gonna happen. He'll get ticked down in, well, not quite in the river, but right next to the river there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So another kill Indiana's way. Just overdoing it a bit on the Spirit Breaker, and just going back to some of that mentality, you know, thought process. Could be that it's a position for Spirit Breaker. He's supposed to be playing the lanes like this, and it's okay if you die because the rest of the team gets out and stays active on the map. But we can see the Dragon Knights, you know, still not farming given the space, and you know, all that net worth in Spirit Breaker's pocket. How much did he actually die for? He died for, well, about 1,000 gold he ends up giving over between the kill gold and the assist AoE gold. So it's a very awkward position to be in. University of Toronto, you're trying with the smoke up, but the Eclipse, well, it's not quite going to catch on to the Timbersaw. Now they're chasing pretty far. Spirit Breaker has respawned. He's looking for the charge through on the backside. They will end up taking down the one, and it's Altius on the front. BKB available, but doesn't really want to turn this one around. Now up to the high ground, gets himself in a pretty good position. Still late on the BKB, takes a lot of damage. Now needs to fight for his life, fighting into the Dragon Knight, but there's not enough damage. Witch Doctor on the backside, trying to take down everybody. It's going to do a good start. They'll take down one, but eventually he'll get stunned up. And the cleanup crews in from Toronto. They'll take down the whole squad. Just losing the Dragon Knight there, and Altius never got involved in that fight. Ended up hitting into the DK, probably the worst target to look for there. Just not able to spill out the damage. And it's Luna with the eventual rundown. The level 20 talent with the extra glaives coming through every time you Lucent Beam means that the longer the fights last, the more beams Luna's able to throw out, the more damage that gets applied, just broad strokes across the team fight. Very awkward one there for Indiana, and gonna be kicking themselves after that. As really did look like Toronto might overextend in that fight as they ran down the mid lane, but not able to connect off the back of the coil they were able to find in the mid lane. Just a little bit discoordinated there for Indiana. Really do need to see them combo up their spells in the team fight. It's, you know, truly the first team fight we've seen from both teams in, well, in probably, you know, 12 to 15 minutes. It's been a long time. It's been a lot of pickoffs going Indiana's way, but nothing where really the coordinated button pressing had to come through. So gonna look to fix that going here, but Spirit Breaker, well, he's gonna have something to say about that one. Breaks the smoke, gonna be caught by the coil regardless. Does go down. Another 1,200 gold Indiana's way, but all of a sudden 10k in the hole. Spirit Breaker picks not gonna feel too good. I have no idea why why that win probability command does what it does. So 32 minutes in here. Group up is going to be on, as Roshan's going to be spawning in 15 seconds. Indiana paying a lot of attention to this Roshan, justly so. Something I think is easy to overlook in these league matches where not exactly used to the coordination necessarily. Do know a lot of the teams don't practice so much together. There's not a ton of scrims that go on in this league. I mean, people play pubs, but not the same. Roche going to be started for Indiana, but up on the high ground, Toronto hitting away with the Dragon Knight. Making his way to the mid-rag. He's going to start bashing away on the range. The TP comes through from the puck. Able to dissuade him from that one, and in the meantime, Altius getting recalled to the Roshan. Still, Toronto are going to know this is going on, as really it's probably the only objective that you're allowing this hit into your base is setting up for the Roshan. And with the shout, that's going to be confirmed. TP's coming through to the outpost, not going to be caught on the observer ward for Indiana. The blink forward from General Lidl. He's in early, but the kill's not quite coming through. The toss defensively saves his buddy for now, but Kaizen, well, he's able to get the Death Ward down. He's not in range of the Silence, and the channel is doing some pretty good work, but will eventually be taken down as 3 heroes, 4 heroes for Indiana as the burst damage from the side came through. And it's once again the Luna able to take down all the heroes on the back of the fight before it really even kicks off. See Chickerin in the chat helping out with some issues on the delay. Thank you for that one. It is a little bit awkward as this league, you know, not on Wikipedia, don't have good roster pages, don't have any of the supporting documentation like that that I can link to, and doing these on delay for the competitive balance reasons means that I can't really respond to stuff in real time. So
Bottom barracks has fallen.
you players and league insiders, I do appreciate you.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So Toronto, looks like they were able to weather the storm, now up 21,000 net worth. Luna mentioned earlier how dying once or twice and the game might get awkward. Well, it hasn't died at all, Aegis in hand now, and getting to work on the Raxes. Starting to get chipped away, and the jump forward, Nebula finds the toss back. But have her underneath the tier 4 tower. She will go down the one time, but it's Toronto in on the front, taking names, and, well, they're just going to spit in your face as Mea Culpa in with the BKB. Well, starting to take some damage, actually. Forced to back away. Has the Eclipse available, but wasn't able to get into good position to get it off, so the buyback came through from Venge, and maybe round 2 is when they'll look to have it going. Luna, Avalanche, toss, not able to find the toss back, down about half HP on the Luna, but now going to be able to go to town. Starting to find the right clicks, the Eclipse can be popped as well, and Mea Culpa right outside of the fountain. More than happy to be here, takes down a pair of kills. Will be sticking around. It's pretty much just Altius to work with here. Ada over to the side, looking for the DK, but jump forward. Altius did find the one. Of course, the moment I look away, looked like he was going to jump out, but jumps back in instead. The charge providing the vision, all that he needs. The buyback coming through, but really is a desperate last hold here. It's University of Toronto looking to close it out. Luna doesn't need a BKB to stick around, or maybe does she? Trying to take down these tier 4 towers. Altius with the jump forward, still not able to take down DK. He will fall. With that, Mea Culpa out for the time being, but the charge across comes through. Red Wine, he's in. He's looking for Altius on the backside. Does he have the damage? It looks like the answer might be no. Getting chased down in the front. And who's going toe-to-toe with who? Looks like he will end up finding the kill on Altius. Mea Culpa was fighting in the back as well. Took down the puck, and Jlay, well, able to hunt him down. So Indiana, though, desperately hold on to this one melee Rax up in the top as well. Took about everything they had, including the PA buyback. Lost both of the tier 4s as well. And Toronto, well, they're not going to be too happy. This game's still ongoing, but not quite going to be feeling the pressure just yet. So that's a 20,000 damage fight coming out from the Luna. Pretty crazy numbers. The fight just allowed to last forever. And remember, that's one that started out. Luna had the Aegis just tossed back into the tier 4s. Wasn't able to accomplish much with that first life, just some structural damage. So all that 20,000 damage coming out during that second life. Indiana, despite holding, they're going to be penned up inside of their base, dealing with these creeps for a while. So we go around the horn. Generally, they're still struggling in this one, but DK doing DK things. Manta style online, 3,200 HP on the DK. So who cares that he's only got 13,000 net worth to his name? He's now tanky, and he's now pretty hard to take down. Nullifier was picked up for the Night Stalker as well. And let's see, over in the Spirit Breaker. Got the Kaya Yasha Full move speed coming out for red wine. Took the Havoc Hammer. Pretty unfortunate neutral item choice, I think, if you end up with the Havoc Hammer on the Spirit Breaker. But sometimes it's like that. Where's he charging? He's kind of charging a pretty psycho place. Still able to get away. Did see Alpheus have that triple strike dagger, level 25 on the PA. Looking towards the Satanic as wants to stay alive inside of these fights. Altius, so they're smoked up behind. Indiana looking for a go here, but Luna's not an easy one to find with the team behind. You want to try and pick someone off to start off this fight, says Indiana, definitely feeling the 20k deficit that they have. Jalay taking some heavy damage to start it off. Could look for the tossback play from Nebula, but with the swap to deal with, not the easiest catch for Indiana. Still looking to slowly whittle down the Luna. Not quite going to find it. Toronto will back off, reset, and live to play some more. Oh, that's pretty good insight there from Chikrin. So the stand-in playing DK is Archon. I actually didn't realize. I don't think I've seen General Lidl play this season. I'm not too sure about that. I've watched a bunch of games this season, so forgive me if I have seen you play General Lidl, but might be a first for this game. Trying the Tormentor down here. Lychee King gonna be in some trouble. Need to be careful on the Venge, but able to get himself away. DD Luna gonna just run up the high ground. Do have the Yule Scepter to purge off this rune, but looks like it might not even be needed. So meanwhile, the hunt was on up top. Toronto not wanting to throw up this high ground, very understandable considering how the last push went, and maybe remembering what it's like to get swapped or tossed back, rather, underneath the tier 4 towers. Nebula looking for it. Oh, gonna be clipped by the silence. Nice blink forward from Holy Moly there as ruins the initiation. The charge through coming through from Red Wine. Gonna find the extension onto Nebula. That's a big one. No buyback, so not gonna have any toss plays to work with. And immediately you see Luna just go to work on the Raxes. Now gonna get ready to work on the throne. As you gotta be careful letting Luna fight with the glaives next to your base. Hero's gonna be going down. Mea Culpa, a couple of kills to work with. Thinking about going for the throne, but now gonna turn back towards Alpheus. Alpheus can only live for so long on the backside. Cleave's coming through. Cleave's coming through. There was a lot of damage, but then it didn't end up being enough. Still going down to the backside. Kaisen channeling that Death Ward. Found the kills. Oh, where does it come from? Alpheus must have put out like 8,000 damage in that last couple of seconds. And the Death Ward ends up taking them all down. Last fight I said it was everything they had in the tank. Well, this fight, definitely everything they have in the tank. So, looks like we have a completely broken replay, so not going to be able to show it off there as... Turnaround, absolutely fair play there as Indiana find the kill. Wow, Kaizen able to escape from that one as well. Now looking for the coconut forward. Has to be careful not to die to the mega creeps, but... Gonna end up being the Spirit Breaker in a lot of trouble inside of the base. Coil gonna stop that charge. They had the extra little bit of control. But the buyback immediately.
Dire's Ancient is under attack.
Wanting to put the pressure on with the mega creeps inside of the base. No PA. See how Toronto want to play this one when they do respawn on their cores. They want to just make one last stab at the Ancient with PA. Still about 20 seconds in the grave after Luna does respawn. Toronto not going to be too happy about this one, and we can kind of see it with the buyback, just not on the same page here, Red Wine. Thinking they can go end the game, but with a couple of failed high ground pushes into the PA, you know, the rest of the team trying to just calm down and make sure they take one more disciplined team fight. They've got the Megas, they've got the throne exposed.
Under attack.
They can go ahead and take the Roshan and look to close it out that way, but this kind of game where you struggle to close it out for a significant amount of time, it's going to leave a bad taste in your mouth at the end of the game number 1 going into the second. So it's not the easiest, you know, to take away positives from this game, even if you are able to claim the win. It's not one of those feel-good wins like it could have been if you're able to, you know, win 10, 12 minutes ago. Just giving a few too many chances. And ultimately, it doesn't feel like the chances really go anywhere as long as you're saving up buybacks on your cores for Toronto. There's not a lot of opportunity Indiana are going to have to do much besides... Well, besides hang on. As Spirit Breaker in the mid, holding on to the Dream Coil to interrupt any charge away, and didn't actually press it. So he does charge away. Maledict not quite going to take him down. Bit awkward there, Puck thinking that the silence would be enough, but the charge already applied. Jumped into the charge, so got bashed up, couldn't find the angle on the coil. Roche will end up going down this one. Aghanim Scepter. Ag's eaten up by the Luna. This is one fat Luna. It's the shield rune will expire, but gonna be able to toss the Eclipse onto the back lines. Has the Rapier queued up in case she wants to go for it, but I believe cooler heads will prevail here, and Mea Culpa will just look to close this one out in style. If you're wondering why Ags wasn't picked up on the Venge, see Leechy King does have it picked up after that last high ground fight. We'll have the second round of the swap to work with now, so it could look to play aggressively with the swap, try and drag someone out of position. Not the best heroes to do it on Indiana, all of them have some natural escape, but if you are able to drag PA into the front, you can drag him into a silence, can make things pretty awkward. Even pull him into a Dragon Tail. I'd like to see that combo, you know, attempted. I think it's pretty hard to execute, so I understand, you know, not being able to go for it this game, but the swap into Dragon Tail would be pretty terrifying. For now, Toronto sending the Luna Illusions up and start to wonder what they're waiting for before committing to this high ground push. As a great big stack of bounty runes going to be picked up. Just double check and see if there's any items coming through that are precluding this siege, and I don't think so. With all the lanes in, I'm expecting them to, you know, maybe be waiting out like one more Manta cooldown and go forward, but the Mantas definitely aren't gonna get into the base against the PA level 25, so slightly awkward. You are gonna need to commit real heroes up to the base if you want to make a charge forward, and best way to do that's going to be with the Spirit Breaker. Looks like his courier's coming out, so it's a Wind Waker for him. No BKB, does make it a little bit difficult to charge forward, charge through the team to start off the fight, but the 4-man smoke comes through from Toronto. As the ward up on the high ground, the swap's going to drag the Timbersaw outside of the base, broken up as well. The BKB comes through, but taking a lot of damage from the Eclipse. Ends up chain stunning Nebula, but Jlay does escape with his life. Still, it's allowing the Toronto heroes up inside of the base. They're able to get position and start thinking about putting pressure on the Ancient. There is one glyph to work with, but the charge forward all the way into the back. It's going to let Luna start to hit into the base. Toss, it's going to drag him back behind the Ancient. There's a swap to work with as well as the Aegis, and Mea Culpa starting to just go to town. The Glaives bouncing around the team, bouncing around the Ancient, now forced to back off, but still healthy. Satanic gonna be popped up and starting to hit again. Healthy is gonna go down, buybacks available, still have the glyph. Thrown down to half HP though, as Luna's still mighty healthy on the front line. Going to absolute town, and now Altius, he's in with the jump, in with the damage, finds the Aegis, finds one kill. Now gonna look for more. The stun not enough to take him down. As Luna gonna respawn, but gonna respawn in trouble. No BKB to work with. The damage is coming through. The Ethereal Blade over onto Puck. Make sure he stays healthy, and they'll take him down. Altius, ultra kill, looking for the Rampage on the PA. As Miracle Hold after Miracle Hold, Altius, he will have it for himself. That's your Rampage coming through. Down nearly 40,000 net worth, and it's Miracle Hold after Miracle Hold after Miracle Hold. 5 heroes dead for 1. Was the buyback coming through? I guess 2 buybacks coming through. Tiny as well. Used his in this one.
Wait for it.
Toronto do have buybacks. I mean, it's not like they've just thrown this game, but some big wins there for Indiana, including keeping the throne half HP, holding on to the glyph. The glyph, I mean, 50 minutes in against Luna, the glyph is probably your most important ability. It's more important than your buybacks at this point.
Middle tower is under attack.
And holding on to that one means they'll have it for the next round of push. They'll be able to delay this game even further. PA working towards a rapier, perhaps. See that Demon Edge queued up, and his courier at the secret shop. Didn't see if he picked up the first piece.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle
Starting to work on these Raxes. Takes down the first tier 3, and Toronto, they're not worried to use their glyph. Still not going to prevent the Rax from going down. Altius making sure he keeps the creep alive for that extra blink attack speed. Now kills it off, and we'll take the range Rax back away and make sure he doesn't get himself caught out, as doesn't have the buyback to work with for himself anymore after that defense. Still, the game continues. 50 minutes in, down to a 25k net worth lead for Toronto. Net worth lead spiking back down, and the win probability, well, finally giving up its 99% hold. Have to agree, definitely Indiana need more miracles to happen. It's not just over, but with the Rapier PA, if they can find the jump, if they can find one more where Altius is able to find 2 3-man cleaves during his BKB, they don't have the best save potential on Toronto anymore. I mean, there's no Ethereal Blade. There's the Nullifier for the Night Stalker, but I don't know. They have one swap to work with. But Lychee King, more often than not, has been caught up in the front. I mean, they've got confusion. They've got chaos on Indiana between the Timbersaw, between the Tiny. These are heroes that get in your face. They make you play out of position.
Radiant are
And Altius, love this next item he's got on the agenda. It's going to be the Revenant's Brooch. And that would let him hit into Luna. And even Dragon Knight, honestly, extremely easily. But oh, on the illusion, saw 2,900 damage crit come through, by the way. So, some absolute terror in the minds of Toronto. And I think they have hit the point where they're no longer confident in this game. I mean, they should be. They're up 29,000 gold still, but if I'm playing this game, we've lost, what, 4 fights up the high ground in a row? Yeah, it feels like you're just banging your head against the wall. Level 25 came through for the Vengeful Spirit. See what other levels we do have. So it's just Dragon Knight looking for that level 25. He'll have it. To be honest, I wasn't expecting this game to go so long, so I kind of lost track of paying attention over to these level 25 talents. Jolly going to be looking for his as well. Will be up shortly. The support's just a little bit further behind.
Oh, look at it go.
Roshan can be respawning any second. See how long it's going to be right now. Minute 57. So Toronto, they can wait out this next Roshan if they do so choose. Altius needs to be a little bit careful playing up front. Smoke gonna break on Luna, but... Yeah, well, thinking about jumping, Mako in a lot of trouble. The BKB is gonna be popped out. He jumps for him, didn't pop. The BKB goes down. There's no pop back. Oh, what a psychopath. They're gonna lose 2, and they're gonna lose the game. As PA just goes down with no buyback available. Didn't press the BKB. Looks like he might have the jump onto Luna, but end of the day, wasn't able to find it. Rest of the heroes just death rattling as the throw him down to about 1000 HP. Toronto gonna take it down. What a blunder coming through here at the end of the game. I mean, it would have taken more miracles, but it ends up being the greed, not pressing the BKB there, as Luna just inches from going down. One more round of the spells. Altius knew he couldn't overcommit, couldn't stay too long there, and understandably so. He wanted to use that second round of the spells to jump out, but didn't commit hard enough to the kill, didn't commit the BKB, and ends up dying for it. Just a little bit, you know, it's hard to say non-committal. I mean, it's a very committal play, but ultimately just wanted to do too much. Ends up costing him the game. Now, the game was, I don't want to say costing him the game. It's kind of the second time I, you know, catch myself in that line of thinking. The game was far from won or lost either way, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those plays that you kick yourself for at the end of the day, and that one hurts to lose like that. I think both teams really going to be hurting. Indiana should be able to take some momentum out of that game number 1. You know, holding on for so long, as we can pop over to the net worth, like holding out for, what is that? Over 15 minutes of 99%, really like 20-minute hold in that game where they did start to edge their way back into the game. I mean, I think if anyone takes positives away, it's them, where they recognize that Toronto, well, they're not the scariest of teams. So we're going to throw it over to a quick break. I'd imagine the team's going to be taking one after a long game one like that, 54 minutes in the books, and we'll be back shortly for game number 2, so stick around and stay tuned.
Every time that you think it's gone too far, we come a long way, and I know that it's only just begun. Cause if you think that loving someone else could ease your mind, let me just remind you, dear, of all the hills we've climbed, and I don't mind being right, even when we get it wrong. You and I feel right. Say maybe we don't need to leave all of our differences aside, cause that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're not like me. We don't agree, and that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. Opposite sides, and that's what makes it right.
It's almost like falling in love for the first time, all over again. Hold on tight to the feeling, but it's a roller coaster in my head. So I'm holding myself on a precipice, and I've been dreaming off the ground. So I'm looking for something that's definite. I'm praying you don't let me down. It's gotta be, oh, it's It's gotta be all or nothing, all or nothing. Oh, it's gotta be all or nothing, all or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing at all. Or nothing at all. Hold these doubts like the playing cards close to my chest. Turn them round for the river and hope it's something that I won't regret. So I'm holding myself on a precipice, and I've been dreaming off the ground. So I'm looking for something that's definite. I'm praying you don't let me down. It's gotta be all. It's gotta be all or nothing, all or nothing. Oh, it's gotta be all or nothing, all or nothing. Oh, oh, it's gotta be all or nothing. Oh, it's gotta be all or nothing, all or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing. It's gotta be all or nothing at all. Or nothing at all. Should've known better than to trust in love. It's like this whole world keeps on messing it up. Yeah. I thought that I could do better if I just believed. Yeah. I'm thinking back to when you were in the sweater that you got from me. Oh, now it's so complicated. Why is this suffocating me? I felt elevated when you used to lay with Should've known better than to trust in love. It's like this whole world keeps on messing it up. Yeah. I thought that I could do better if I just believed. Yeah. I'm thinking back to when you were in the sweater that you got from me. Oh, now it's so complicated. Why is this suffocating me? I felt
I wanna be your alien queen. We can ride to the moon in your space machine. You get me in the mood. It feels so fucking good. Just what my body needs. You should know that I don't mind if you wanna love me all my life. I wanna be your alien queen. We can ride to the moon in your space machine. You get me in the mood. It feels so fucking good. Just what my body needs. You should know that I don't mind if you wanna love me all my life. You should know that I don't mind if you wanna love me all my life. You should know that I don't mind if you wanna love me all my life.
Alright, sorry for the delay getting back, but we do have a draft getting underway. It's
10
actually
seconds remaining.
one thing I needed to check on, but it looks like
5 seconds. Radiant
hopefully I didn't
team
break
pick.
anything. Looks like Indiana took second pick, so we do end up with Toronto on Radiant once again. So if you've been sticking around the streams, I'm not going to harp on it for too long, but we've been seeing this trend. I mean, where teams do this. So Toronto in their first game, I wasn't paying enough attention. I'm not sure if they picked first pick or if they picked Radiant. But we've been seeing teams pick Radiant with their priority, and we've been seeing teams pick second pick with their priority. So in more than half the games that I've cast, we've seen teams end up on the same side with the same pick order. Just, you know, throughout the series. And if games go to, or if series go to 3 games rather, we've seen, you know, that extend as well. So there's no buyer's remorse in the pick phase. We've seen 3 games straight go, you know, Radiant first pick.
10 seconds.
And both teams essentially be happy about it.
5 seconds remaining.
Sorry, I realized I just did that right next to the mic. I've got a cough drop during the draft. It's a good thing I have tomorrow off, honestly. I'm already can tell that tomorrow at work I'm going to be feeling this cast in my voice. Thanks Toronto and Indiana for a 54-minute game 1. But yeah, I mean, sometimes when I start to feel under the weather, it's
10 seconds
not a big
remaining.
deal if I do these casts, and other times, you know, it's really draining.
Team back.
Today might be one of those draining days where it's not so good for me. I was taking a quick look at the schedule of games this week during the break, and it's looking like there's no games tomorrow.
Dire team
Scratch that. There was one game tomorrow, but it's the Michigan game, and we're going to leave that to the Michigan casters. There are a handful of games on the 9th, which would be what? The 9th is on Saturday.
10 seconds
So there's a 10:30 p.m. on Saturday. There is an 8 p.m. on Saturday. That's it, actually, just those two. But I'm gonna plan on casting both of those as well. So that's Conestoga versus Columbia, and that is UCLA versus Seneca. Looking around the league, it looks like we might have more forfeits as well today, which is never a good sign. CPP, I believe, did actually forfeit against the other University of Toronto team. If Figurin is still around in the chat, he should be able to confirm that for me a bit later on.
5 seconds remaining.
But I saw that message coming through in the chat as well. So, I mean, it's one of those things you don't like to see about these leagues, especially with the long, drawn-out group stage, where we're running a 9-team round robin, but over the course of 7 weeks total. So one of the things that we'll have to look into is whether that's actually going to affect any of the standings later on in the season, because if you do get booted for having too many forfeits in the league, right, then your previous wins are nullified and given back. So could actually have an influence on final standings. I haven't looked too deep into kind of if it would cause chaos or not. But it is one of those things. Like, I think RIT has a handful of forfeits already this season, so it's all. I mean, it's a little bit awkward. I'm not going to get into it now, as we've got the draft going on, and we're into the interesting phase of the draft. My favorite phase, second phase. So it looks like we are shifting it up quite a bit. As Indiana going to ban out, well, pretty much the entire lineup. Spirit Breaker, Venge, and Luna all taken out early on. The Spirit Breaker and Venge taken out in that first phase for him.
5 seconds remaining.
Over on the Toronto side, just banning out some of the strong heroes, but notably leaving in some of the heroes that have been deemed first pick material for the second time in this draft, not going to be picked up. Those being the Dragon Knight was going to be ignored. Mars got ignored till the second phase. Sven as well, saying in game number 1 that bro sentiment right now is pretty much any game is a Sven game, so if you can get it into the second phase, you can just, you know, go ahead and take it.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
But going a different direction, Toronto taking the Abaddon, taking the Oracle. Not actually sure if Toronto have retained their Oracle spam around this team. Because I feel like it's not a Lychee King style hero, but maybe I'm just getting my wires crossed. As I know he did play the Venge, which is another one of those save heroes. I'm just trying to put him on whether he actually does play the save supports or not. For some reason, I just can't. I can't think that he does in my head. I'm gonna go through his profile and see what he does play right now. No, he does have 8 matches on Oracle. Just a 50% win rate, by the way. It's his lowest win rate hero in NACE.
5 seconds remaining.
That's an interesting one. Hold that thought. Some of those games might be NADCL games. That's kind of awkward. I don't have the best filtering set up. Yeah, it seems like he wins with Oracle in NACE, but then they pick him Oracle in NADCL and they just lose.
Radiant team back.
Razor.
Anyway, Indiana grabbing the Slark. Slark's a hero that's been, you know, staple in the carry pool recently, but into this draft, I don't know if I'd be too happy to play the Slark. I mean, the lane against Abaddon's okay, but Abas nowadays, the core Abaddons build Manta, which is very awkward against Slark. You don't like to man fight against that. You'd be really careful with Dark Pact and make sure that you're getting all your spells off. And
10 seconds
Toronto responded immediately with the Razor, setting up
5
for
seconds remaining.
what I think is not going to happen, but I would like to see carry Razor against the Centaur. I think that actually is a very fun lane for the Razor to play. And you can pretty much just maximize your farm with, you know, max points in the plasma field, in the queue, and just hit creeps. Later on in the game, you match very well against the Slark, and I think you're okay having the Abaddon lane against Slark if you can get away with, you know, the first couple levels and not give up too much Essence Shift early. I think you are fine. But considering how game number 1, the offlane went for them, I think they're going to give as much priority to this offlane picks and this offlane counter picking as possible. So I think we're going to see Razor in the offlane with potentially the Wind Ranger. And they're going to just look to poke at the Slark. This melee core is going to, you know, not be too happy with the Ancient Apparition as well. So not a lot of defensive capability there for the Indiana safe lane. There is, of course, potential that Toronto is picking this Abba as another support. They could throw the Wind in the mid. Not the biggest fan of that one. But we will see what they decide to do. They've left their draft kind of open depending on who plays what. NACE drafts are always actually the hardest to predict. Drafts are a lot easier doing some of the, you know, other leagues that I do, like in my spare time. I guess this is in my spare time, but occasionally cast some of the amateur leagues, and teams do stick a lot more to, you know, good heroes rather than comfort, so a lot easier to predict. And with the Pango here, still does leave an open question or two. Where exactly they're going to be lining up here. Like, you could put the Wind in the mid and the Pango in the off lane, and the Razor in the safe lane and be okay. You could put the Wind in the safe lane, is one of those things we've been seeing recently, actually, and something that I discounted from the first pick Wind. But it is possible. It's not the best matchup into Centaur, not in the lane, nor really in the game, but you could take it. On Indiana, just with the last pick techies, like, yep, we've got our draft, we've got our heroes that we want. Okay, and there you go. So it is going to be the offlane Abba. It's going to be the safe lane Razor, and it's going to be the mid lane Pango. So it's what I was looking for in the draft. Support Wind going to be headed down to the bot lane with Abba and try and make Altius' life hard on the Slark. Trying to decide how I actually feel about this draft for, well, really for both teams. I think Indiana's draft is a lot more of a stable draft. They are missing that one instant stun. Even Centaur doesn't really provide that nowadays, so they're going to be pretty reliant on finding good blink angles with the Centaur and then following up with the blast off from techies to get things done in these fights. But otherwise, Indiana's looking like a very stable draft to me, whereas Toronto has a lot of questions that I think need to be, you know, answered. They've got some good teamfight chaos between the Pango, between the Razor, where if you can stick on heroes, your teamfight can go pretty well. And, you know, BKB timings on the Razor, I guess really just on the Razor. You can run down heroes, but at the same time, it's pretty possible that you just get caught flat-footed and don't have it. I mean, they're not the highest damage draft. Abba against Slark, I was talking about if the lane doesn't go well at the start, like in game number 1, how DK didn't have a lane. Abaddon, when you're behind, feels, you know, atrociously bad. Core Abba from behind is not like a DK where you're gonna have impact. Instead, you are just on the struggle bus from start to finish. So I think that's gonna be the lane to watch. Is gonna be General Lidl on this Abaddon. Gonna need to find, you know, if not a lane win, needs to at least, you know, find his farm in the off lane. Make sure that he's not killed off a couple of times by Slark early, because giving up those Essence Shift stacks will really, really be a problem. Leechy King after game number 1 going for a similar play. Game 2 this time going to be spotted out by Indiana, and they're going to chase forward. Nice little 4-man Fortune's End, and teams will settle themselves down. A little good luck tossed across the river. I will say, I've always been an HF enjoyer. Don't want to wish my enemy team good luck before they play me. Altius appreciating me. Maybe he hasn't heard me flame his PA at the end of last game. Just yet. He'll be watching the VOD later, perhaps. No, I'm kidding. I appreciate the support from these guys, and appreciate the support from you all watching at home. It's a lot of fun to do these games. So holy moly, got his Pango in the mid. Should be happy enough against the Queen of Pain here. Did pick into it. This one knew it was coming. I think picked more for the game than really for the lane, of course. But gonna have ample team fight control as Altius gonna drop. But gonna be providing team fight control and really trying to shore up the Razors game, trying to shore up the Abaddon's game later on with the Rolling Thunder. It's kind of exactly what you're looking for in a Razor lineup, is having this ability to, you know, roll around and cause additional confusion. See you at TI, yeah. I did go to TI. I will be trying to go to TI again in the future. Depending on where it is, of course. But I will not be going to TI as a caster, unfortunately. Holy moly, the early level 2. Getting out some harass points. But yeah, I did go to the most recent TI in Seattle, and that was a lot of fun getting to go. That was the first TI that I actually did get to go to. We were planning on going as a group of people from Northeastern to Stockholm when TI got cancelled for COVID. And that was real unfortunate, so I had to make sure that I did get up to Seattle, go to TI, and it was a lot of fun. I think it's a pretty great place to have it in Seattle. Is up top, Wind getting run down a bit, slowed up. Ashen shift stacks, one more right click coming through, Kaizen's got it. Take down the kill. But I do hope Valve going forward, now that Climate Pledge is, you know, renovated and finished, I hope that they do at least every other year TI in Seattle. I think it's, you know, the home of Dota. Wow, down bottom. Jaleigh finds the kill. Looks like the level 2 from Nebula. Daki's pumping in the magic damage. But yeah, I think, you know, Seattle does feel like the home of Dota, and they were able to pack out the arena pretty nicely, and, you know, just felt right. Up top, talked about this not happening early on. Altius having his way with General Lidl at the moment. Gonna be forced to back off, though, as Kaizen did go down in the back, trading with the Wind Ranger, actually, so maybe Altius not having his way. Forced to back all the way off, and out of regen here. Gonna be bringing some more, but not the happiest time with the wave pushed all the way up for General Lidl. Not going to be able to hold these creeps outside of the base. As we miss a couple of more kills in this game. Razor takes his revenge. Finds the kill onto Centaur. It's a big kill timing too, as the Lotus going to spawn. Leechy King ignores it for now as he's looking for the angle onto Nebula. Not able to find him though, and Leechy King will back off, grab that Lotus. Stun comes through, Nebula. Didn't have the mana for the blast off, and now, oh, Plasma Field not going to clip him. With that extra nuke coming through from Leechy King, might have actually had the damage, so unfortunate one for the Razor there. Gonna be a little bit sad about that, but we'll just continue to farm up.
can trust you guys.
And in the mid lane, holy moly. Continuing where he left off in game number 1, he's taking a hard mid matchup, and, well, he's doing good things with it. Just edging out over Ada in the mid here. A couple extra CS to his name as... Wow, every time I look away from this bot lane, they find more kills. This time, Nebula just running himself out of real estate. But then I look down here and nothing ever happens, you know? So unfortunate. Take a look up at the top side where General Lidl 17-5 on the CS against 9-0 for Slark, so doing a very nice job here on the Abaddon. Polar opposite of game number 1, by the way, on DK. Where arguably his matchup in game number 1 was better for the Dragon Knight. I mean, Dragon Knight generally has a good time in lanes where you don't have the easiest time playing just because you have the extra armor and regen to work with. And I think a lot of the impact here coming from Red Wine, who's been... Well, we've been looking up here, and it's been incredible how much he's able to zone off. Big stack is going to find the pull. Is that a 3 camp stack, technically? Very early for that to be like that. Ooh, down bottom, the rundown. Level 2 static link coming through. Mea Culpa looking for an extra right click. Not going to have it, but Nebula... Well, left out on the front side. 100 stolen damage. Not going to be enough. The plasma field will be. Didn't miss the kill this time. Get to be a little bit happy about that one. Oh, I missed the kill in the top as the tower dive was on. Red Wine, the shackle on to the TP. It's just level 1 shackle. 8 of TPs in to get involved in that kill. Finds Bounty Rune as well and able to bottle it up. Down bottom, Nebula. Guarding the amplified damage rune, but eventually will be forced to just take it. Gonna be off the mark with the nuke as well. Still, holy moly, about out of mana in this mid lane. Gonna be awkward for him. Doesn't have a bounty rune to go and claim, as Ada did take that one in the top, and ooh, actually left the other one. It's General Lidl in the top, has the wand underneath the tower, but he's gonna be dove. Altius. He'll have his kill this time. Falling low to the tower shots, but stays alive. About to pick up that level 6 as well, and the whole wave underneath the tower gonna be lost. Red Wine gonna be farming this one up. Impact position 4, same as the first. Ooh, down bottom again. 3 points in Link on Mea Culpa. This is not a standard Razor build, but it's working out for him as he continues to get involved in these kills onto Centaur. Generally, your position 1 Razor, you don't want to go the extra points in the static link because you need to transition to have impact when you are farming just creeps. You won't have hero targets to find max static links off of, and you start to farm a little bit slower. So we're seeing a Razor that's really shoehorned himself into needing to stay in lane a lot longer, but it's working out for him with a handful of kills. Yeah, top of the net worth as well for the Razor. General Lidl in some trouble, has an extra shield coming up, but not in time, and Altius, well, he had the level 6 regardless, so no danger to him. Red Wine looking forward. Still just level 1 shackle to work with. Slark, now that he's hit level 6, it's pretty hard to take him down. They will force out the Shadow Dance. Altius starting to feel more secure in his lane, and we can see the impact on his net worth as well as he starts to climb the board. 8 in with the early rotation, 8 minutes with the illusion rune. Gonna walk his way up the backside, finds Lychee King. Dagger gonna be applied. Is able to purge it off, of course, on the Oracle. And nice play there for him. Ada forced to pop the Illu rune, just looking for mana, and gonna be forced to run back to the mid while Altius starts to get himself involved. Gonna be shackled up and disarmed. Holy moly with the TP as the Rolling Thunder trying to dodge out that Sonic Wave. But looking for Altius, no Shadow Dance to work with the jump forward. Altius gets himself in the corner but not able to survive it. Ada now running to the side, looking for that extra blink. Looks like he'll more than have it. No TP actually on the Queen of Pain though. So Ada just kind of running back to the base, maybe thinking about picking up a TP in the base. Ooh, getting some lag on my end.
Radiant's courier has been
Takes down the courier. Apologies for the lag here, as it looks like it's more than just me. Yeah, it's everybody. Yeah, it's not just the players here. They're thinking it was all of them individually. It's everybody. It's a server lag for sure. Ada might just be going down here, as Redwine did chase him all the way back to the fountain. 7 seconds on the blink. Has the raindrops to work with, has 5 wand. But with no TP, needs to run in, get a TP, find the blink angle, and yeah, he'll just kill himself off to the fountain.
Fantastic.
Didn't want to try it. Up in the top side, General Lidl did it go down to that Ice Blast. First one of the game for Kaizen, gonna be on the mark. So 8-6 here as we hit 9 minutes in. Fast-paced start to this game number 2. Toronto up 1-0 over Indiana. Looking to close out the series 2-0. Of course, these series in NACE, if you're new to the league, best of 3s, all of them, even during the group stage. So Indiana trying to force out a game number 3. And pretty desperate for it as well. We talked before the series about how they are right now 2-2 on the season. Looking for that 4th place spot, top 4 in the group. Do qualify to the playoffs, and in a dead heat right now with Brown. So fighting for that qualification spot halfway through the season. Game score doesn't mean the most. There is tiebreakers off of your game score, but they're actually not the first of the tiebreakers. First is head-to-head as it is a round robin, so... really what you are looking for is the series win at the end of it all. Holy moly, takes down a kill with that Rolling Thunder in the mid lane. But all about the series win. So Indiana looking to come from behind. Reverse sweep at 2-1. I don't know if you can really call it a reverse sweep when it's just a best of 3. Like a 3-game series, I don't know if you can call it a reverse sweep. Holy moly, forced the TP all the way home there. Redwine found the incursion into the jungle. Kaizen was stacking up for his team, but pays with his life. Yo, Abaddon in some awkward position here as Altheus looking to run him down and should just have him. Perhaps. Stampede gonna come through and... well, there's not another pounce to work with, but it's not gonna matter. Somehow, Redwine's still escaping, still surviving through it all. Looks like he will eventually go down, but bought enough time for Holy Moly to get involved in this fight. 3-man shield crash, gonna give him plenty of shield to work with for himself, and does kick off play. Gonna be clipped by that Ice Blast. Mea Culpa showed up as well, and things looking pretty disastrous for University of Toronto here, as they're just gonna lose more and more heroes trying to fight on. Altheus, maybe he's bit off more than he can chew, but no. As the pause gonna come through. But the stun has come. And it will be the Pangolier who goes down at the end of it all. Altheus going to be able to escape for himself, I believe. A little bit more lag than we'd appreciate in this game, but hey, it happens sometimes. Don't click the mine. Yeah, he's not going to be able to click this one. Looks like Altheus still struggling to find the connection here. Online tournaments will be like that sometimes. don't have too much more to talk about for now, but you know, it is what it is. You know, these pauses always make me think of the old Suns Fan and Sind What the Horse game. And I really miss What the Horse. What the Horse is probably my favorite Dota-related bit or segment or whatever you want to call it. Where they would, you know, have the pre-selected clip here, like, and you pause it like right here, and it's like, okay, what happens? But the best part of What the Horse would be like, oh yeah, Pango kills all 3 heroes is the outcome of this. Like, Pango clicks the mine, Rolling Thunders through all 3 of them, and they, you know, somehow die. I mean, it's God, it was such a good bit, and they would occasionally sprinkle in ones where like they just die. It was fun. It was funny. Really, Suns Fan and Sind were the ones that made it funny, but they need to bring it back. All right, G is on as Holy Moly gonna spell out the end of the pause to his own death. He does click down the mine. Not gonna matter. Maybe Legion King trying his best to keep him alive. And he gets Rolling Thunder off. Oh, tell me it doesn't happen. Finds the kill onto one. How does he live there? Holy moly. Oh, and the shackle. It's beautiful onto Ada. He does kill them all. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, Indiana. What did I do to you? Holy moly gets out there on all of 3 HP. It's a perfect save from Legion King twice. He gets clicked down and just barely gets saved. Oh, it's insane. And then the shackle to follow it all up. Like, this is what ends up finding the kill on the Clump. Without the shackle, they don't find the extension kill either. Oh, just perfection there from Toronto. And salvaging a bad situation. I mean, before the pause, you gotta remember that. Toronto brought all of their heroes to that fight and kind of let them down one by one. Althea's still hanging around here, looking for Leechy King. Able to get himself back to the tower. Nebula not able to find the kill either. And now fighting in a very awkward position. Who's really got the better of this one? Well, it looks like Red Wine's going to find 1 kill. General Alito staying alive for now. The Aphotic Shield going to keep him healthy. Ada finds the blink to the low ground. Red Wine doesn't have the shackle available. Not going to find the +1. Holy moly. Got to be careful himself. Able to get away. And Red Wine, he's looking. He's got the javelin. He's going to find the kill. This position 4 has no limits. Shackle just going to find the creep. But holy moly. Rolling Thunder once again comes off cooldown and once again gets pressed immediately, but Red Wine this time overstays his welcome. Oh no, holy moly, get the hell out of there, get out of there! Julie underneath the tower is looking, but goes down. We're back to the 5v5 mid Dota. The side lane's completely forgotten about. Because who wants to hit creeps when there's heroes to be had? Altius jumps forward, finds the Invis rune. Diffuser Blade ready, but Sentry Ward gonna be dropped down. Invis purged off. Holy moly, caught by the stun. Able to get out. Shackle gonna be off the mark as well. And now are things finally gonna settle down is the real question. It's Mea Culpa. Makes his way up to the top lane. Maelstrom Razor, so the Electric Man is continuing. He's Sultan, your bush gunner. Vehicle in some trouble, took down the tower, but gonna be caught by the stuns, by the slows, by the damage. Holy moly is in with the roll, but Slark's a pretty hard one to find, and with the roll duration gonna be expiring. Gotta make sure you get out of here healthy. Whoa, does just find the kill. Altius playing with fire and got burned. Don't know where that damage came from. Chile caught by the shackle. Red Wine, a great extension to maybe set up some more. We'll find the extra one. couple of kills found. Pango with the Diffusal Blade, very strong hero, always annoying to play into these slows that come through. Once again, by the way, General Lidl has fallen behind the wind in terms of the net worth. I wonder how much of this is intentional and how much of this is, you know, reactionary coming through from Red Wine. I've seen him take, you know, a more farming approach to both of these games 1 and game 2. So he's got the Maelstrom queued up into the Gluttony. He actually has the Maelstrom ready to be delivered. It's in his stash at the moment. Ice Blast off the mark there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But so I have to wonder how much of this is, you know, decided pre-game versus decided in the game. The Abba's going to be, you know, dealt a lower priority. Oh, Pango was in there. Didn't actually notice the Pango was in there. They're able to find the Sonic Wave onto him, but Ada stretching for more does go down as more heroes in the mid lane than perhaps expected. Mid laner for mid laner, as Razor was in the area. Maelstrom not needed to farm, instead he's taking it to the mid and gonna hit heroes with it. Why wouldn't the Lightning Man hit you with the lightning?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
General Lidl running up the high ground. Looks like Altius didn't quite spot him out. He's hunting in here though, looking... Gonna find the Oracle, and this is gonna be a bigger kill. No false promise to work with. Still able to apply the disarm. Shadow Dance available. Altius taking a lot of damage and just goes down. Second time we've seen that where either not able to get the Shadow Dance off or just extending maybe a little bit too far during the Shadow Dance, so not the cleanest of plays. And oh, holy moly, with the roll with the roll timing out. Nearly suffered the same fate, but underneath his tier 1 tower, a lot safer of a position for him. Looking over. Play. Also suffering in terms of the net worth. Both of these offlaners, Indiana and Toronto, struggling to stay relevant in this game, but with the Blink Dagger brought out, Jay gonna look to get involved immediately. Good for that instant impact. General Lidl pops the bar on time. Altius just gonna keep pounding away into him, make sure those Essence Shift stacks are picked up. Nebula, celebratory blast off. Good luck. So we hit the 18-minute mark, 18 and a half minutes now into this game. 21-15. It's crazy how fast-paced this game has been. It really has been just a 5-on-5 brawl continuously. Oh, Altius jumped himself down into the river. That's not the position you want to be in, man. Run away, run away, run away. But the Shadow Dance, it's going to be timing out. He's going to be caught and he'll be taken down. Oracle did go down on the backside, but holy moly, still in that Rolling Thunder. Looking to go across, cancels out the stun from the Centaur, and looking for the extra damage, finds the double kill. If he can't find any more, Ada had the mana to work with, so able to find the blink away, and Nebula taking down the blast off, still connects through the mine. Oh, not gonna have enough damage. Ada was thinking about jumping back across, realized he didn't have the mana to blink away if he did blink himself in. Still hanging around up here. I mean, it's a risky spot to be in. Wand charges do just give him the mana to blink now. He'll be able to escape. Great fight for Toronto there. I'm going to call it losing the supports. They did lose Abba in the process, but lose the supports to claim everyone but the Queen of Pain. It all starts by Altius, just that missed pounce. It's an area that really we don't see come into play too often. But trying to pounce onto this narrow bridge, if you do miss, you can get yourself into this hole behind it, by the way. So, a high-risk, pretty low-reward play coming through for Slark, and might be one that Altius himself has not seen. I'm not sure how often that really comes up in games. It's a new one for me, but I don't really play the Slark, so... You know, there is that aspect. 20 minutes in, Tormentor gonna spawn, and Altius with the Mage Slayer makes his way over, and they'll take this as a team. They don't take it very fast, and Jay can't really contribute Because the double edge would end up killing himself. End up getting the shard on the Ancient Apparition. It's a pretty nice one to have. Cold Feet on the Ice Blast, if you are hitting, you know, 1-2-man Ice Blasts consistently, gives you that extra bit of control. And did note in the draft pre-game that there's not the most control to be had on this Dire lineup. Looks like Legion King got the shard from his one. Oh, was clipped by the Ice Blast and needed to commit the false promise there. Make sure he didn't get caught by that shatter. Now this shard is one that I still need to read. I don't know what the hell this shard does. Heal reduction and heal amplification for allies. And it does do some damage heal. Okay, there you go. Down bottom, Red Wine. Trying to run away with the Stampede. Gonna make sure he is taken down. In the mid lane, General Lido gonna be run up upon as well as the rest of the team. Made their way down bottom. Altius looking to get away from this one. Holy moly, thinking about committing forward, but Diffusal Blade was purged off. Gonna have to back up, and now it's just General Lido left in the river, but Abaddon a bit too tanky for Indiana to take down. They'll be happy with the one kill they found onto the Wind Ranger, and they'll back off from there. 3-man stun comes out from Jlay. It's going to be a pretty nice start to the fight. It's the 2-man Ice Blast as well over the top. Looking for Mea Culpa. He's surviving on the backside on the Razor. They need just a little bit more damage, and Ada will provide it. Takes the double kill. The Shackle was found onto him, actually. Ada able to blink his way back up to the high ground. Shield Rune was available as well. Now Altius, he's in. He's looking to clean up these fights. Holy moly, gonna be taken down at the end of it all. Sonic Wave committed. Tip comes through as Ada did find the kill. Shackle gonna be off the mark. Out of mana, and there is stick charges, but needs to be careful here. Just one more blink to work with, still with Altius rotating over. Not only will it spell the end of the go, but might just find some more kills for Indiana. So it will be the one in Legion King. Some more long drawn out fights. We see Slark really start to thrive. Do I have that thing enabled where you can click heroes and items and stuff? That is a good question. The answer is maybe. I'm not sure how it works with the delay. That is my question. But yes, it should be enabled otherwise. I can do some digging into that afterwards. Smoke comes through for Indiana. They're going to make their way up into the triangle. They see Red Wine farming on their ward. Not exactly the hero you want to go for, but they're going to drop the Ice Blast regardless. Centaur Stomp into the blast off. Takes him down. No Ice Blast needed. So Altius had to find on the other side, combining up with Ada, looking for this Abaddon. Gets him the borrow time, and well, Altius going to be forced to run away. Ada as well, looking for the blink. Chain not quite there. Sonic Wave committed as well as the Shadow Dance, and just ends up being a few Essence Shift stacks. Go Altius' way. But with the Aghanims in hand on the Slark, going to be looking to get involved. Even more than he has been. 7-4 and 7 on the Slark. It's not been a quiet game for Altius. This game number 2.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So yeah, you know, following up on my earlier, I'll look into it. And do I have the thing enabled? The thing is enabled. It's either broken or it doesn't work with the delay. I'm not sure which. I did just take a look. BKB for red wine did find himself a kill. On to July. BKB, of course, allowing him to hit through the blade mail on the centaur.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Aghanim Scepter is up on the Queen of Pain. It's a pretty annoying one to deal with for the side of Toronto. They do have the purges coming through, but now with the Ags up, you still do scream when you purge off these daggers, so you need to be careful not to use it in the midst of your team still. A little bit of a spread fight, trying to defend the ward up here. Indiana supports, but with the Ice Blast, oh, it's short. Just off the mark there. Nebula looking for the blast off. It's going to connect onto 2. Delay running in as well, but he's going to blink onto the backside. Finds Legion King. Not going to be able to use that ult. It's going to be forced onto himself. And now Indiana thinking about looking for the retreat. They baited out some spells. They're not able to get away though. And now it's Altheus caught out in the front as well. Oh, they're all going down. It was such a good start. They baited out the kit, but they baited themselves in. Get taken down. They lose 4. Nebula, the last one alive. Looks like he might just be going down as well. The disarm, keeping him healthy, keeping him safe for now, and jumping away. Well, he's buying some time at least, but brings him straight towards that tier 2 in the mid. Team wipe for Toronto as Indiana, it looked so good until it didn't.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
$33-23 your kill score. Doesn't feel like it's 27 minutes in, but that's where we have it. 8,000 gold lead opened up for Toronto. Indiana starting to feel a little bit desperate, going for the smoke play, trying to reclaim some of their own jungle. Ward's going to be placed up on the high ground, but don't want to reveal their position just yet. Kaizen will stick back and find the D wards. Roshan has been started, by the way, by Toronto, so if they're able to throw an Ice Blast in, could be interesting. Altheus is just in. Stampede as well gets them connected. The Ice Blast is flying in. Is going to be there in time. Looks like the answer, well, maybe, is General Leto going to be clipped by it. Takes him down. Going to go 1 for 1 so far, but with Abaddon gone, that's 1 round of your first. But Ada, look at the damage. Oh, he just goes down. Red Wine finds him. BKB left there, it's all you need. Takes down the Queen of Pain, and now full out for Indiana as they need to get the hell out of Dodge. Makes it, what, a 4 for 1 again for Toronto, as the Roche fight, not the one they necessarily wanted, or not that you'd expect that they'd want, but able to get away from the Ice Blast for the most part. Just clean house from there. And Queen of Pain just explodes in these fights. So used to Queen of Pain with the Aghanims, with that Sanj and Kaya, just living through everything, but can't stand up to the damage at all. Roshan will eventually be going down. It's quite the slow one without the Curse of Avernus being applied, but goes down regardless. Ice Blast dumped in, but going to be off the mark. And now 13k ahead. Razor with the BKB. 9-second BKB still hasn't used it once. 3,000 gold up towards the Scotty. Really interested, actually, that Miakopa stayed on Maelstrom. Didn't upgrade to Mjolnir. I feel like the idea is either to upgrade to the Gleipnir early or to upgrade to the Mjolnir early, depending on if you feel that you're needing the catch or needing the attack speed. But I'm surprised by keeping it at just the Maelstrom. Generally, we've seen Razor able to farm, you know, well enough without it, and you can go straight into these, you know, Manta BKB and just play on the front line items.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Altius hunting on the back does find Lychee King, but it's not the fastest kill. Again, the disarm comes through. Altius, no BKB of his own to make sure he can secure this kill, and now caught up onto the front. Trying to run himself away with the Glimmer Cape, will be able to escape. Shackle Shot not going to connect onto anybody. Redwine is hunting forward, but not going to be able to find. Still the tier 2 in the mid, going to go down in the midst of it all. Toronto flexing their muscle a little bit there and just kind of proving that Indiana needs to spend all their resources just to escape, just to get away with their lives. Even potentially overextending a little bit. No real threat to them. And look at this, a late pickup going to be the Radiance for Holy Moly, just ready to get himself some evasion against the Slark. And as weird as it sounds, I actually don't mind this pickup too much on the Pango, as it's one of those items that Slark doesn't deal with the easiest. It's another pickup inside of the base for Redwine. Just continuing to find solo kills throughout the game. 13 and 6 on the Wind and having an absolutely phenomenal game on this position 3.5 Wind. Blink Dagger picked up on about him. See how aggressive they decide to play it as they do take down the last of the outer tier towers. In the mid, Redwine, no BKB to work with, so has to be careful on the Blade Mail, but Force Staff forward, looking for the right-click damage underneath the tower. Not going to go. Still, the team takes down the Tormentor. That's a pretty nice shard to get. Gale Force going to be acquired for the Windrunner. Altius working towards the BKB, and it really does feel like he's not going to be able to get really any more kills until this BKB comes through, but at the same time, going to be forced to join the smoke with his team as need to make sure they can get out on the map, and this is a good find if they can grab it. Holy moly, he's able to get the False Promise off on Lychee King, and on the backlines, still living. Look how tanky this Oracle is. Eventually does go down, and holy moly, it doesn't quite go down, eventually does at the end of the Rolling Thunder. Couple of quick kills for Indiana, and trying to retreat out. Altius will manage to finish the TP. Schley not going to be so lucky as Nebula will be cleaned off the face of the earth as well. Ends up being a 2-for-2. Definitely valuable trade coming in for Indiana.
Dire's bottom tower is
So they're even able to get Altius out of that one. A little bit more progress towards the BKB. You can see just how hard these fights are though, and down 18k in the net worth. Sure, it feels like a fight win to go even trade there, but it's fighting into Aegis. The Razor only has it for about 40 seconds, so most likely not going to make use, or further use, I should say, of this first Aegis, but Toronto really are playing with full control of the map at this point, and could even wait out that second Roshan if they do so choose. This Oracle hero, by the way, I mean, I think a big part of it is the neutral item. I think of it like neutral item bloat. Every hero just gets stronger, and so you take heroes with less gold and they feel so tanky. I mean, it's been literal years since, you know, plus 10 strength at 27 minutes was a thing. But you do forget that, you know, Oracle doesn't just die the second you get on top of him. The Oracle's not made of paper. He's got a Force Staff. He's got a Disarm. Can always heal himself. I mean, it's kit that he used to have, but it used to be if you could jump on him and stun him, he's not able to press his buttons on you and you take him down during that stun. Well, now Lychee King's been jumped a couple of times and it doesn't matter. He can just continue to play his way out of it. It's so crazy to me. Meanwhile, Nebula, you can see what he's been spending his time on. The mines have begun. Not techies of old, so not going to be marching these ones down the lane. should the game get late enough, but Nebula making the most of his time while they are pinned inside of the base. Why not set up the minefield while you're at it? Gonna see Razor probably look to clean those out with the Mantas once they do start to think about the high ground. Orchid picked up on the Wind Ranger. Add another tool to the arsenal, looking for more solo kills. The Wind Run. Gonna find Ada. Didn't manage to find the Orchid onto him, so. Just gonna content himself with stealing the farm away from the Indiana mid laner. 24,000 in the net worth, and last couple of minutes we've seen Indiana just pretty much sitting inside of their base as Toronto have continued to expand their net worth lead. You can see just how squished in Indiana are, and not able to get out on the map, not able to show. Instead, just being choked out. Farming the occasional wave that makes it into the base. Ice Blast was committed there. Indiana, really their only option to take a fight is to try and bait these Toronto heroes inside of the base, into the minefield. As of yet, haven't been able to do it, as Toronto have been remaining disciplined, waiting out that next Roshan. Could be spawning in the next 30 seconds or so. So most likely going to see him back off towards the Roche pit up top. Quick predictions in for the Roche timer. It's going to be a quick one. 38 seconds. Minute 26. Not far off, but not close. Eventually I'll get it right. Still, it feels like there's not a lot of urgency here in Indiana's game, and it's understandable. I mean, they feel like they can't take a fight, which is relatively true, but at this point, they're kind of just letting themselves get choked out on the map, and it's a rough one. They don't have a single neutral creep that they're able to farm, actually. Situation like this, you really need to see, you know, one core, maybe even two. Try and sneak out, try and get behind enemy lines, farm somewhere there, whether it's the Slark, whether it's the Queen of Pain. You know, Quap's able to do it with the Blink, with the Dagger. I mean, we've seen that the Dagger Scream takes down the wave, so you can get out of the map, can get behind and start to cut some waves and try and relieve some pressure. So we see Ada finally is able to do that. But Roshan will be spawning here, 13 seconds. Toronto not in that area, but will have the option whenever the mood strikes them. In the mid, Altius steps out a little bit immediately. Forced back, holy moly. Says, I know that you're there. Ping him out too, up on the high ground, but don't have an easy catch onto the Slark. Slippery hero to begin with. Roshan has respawned, is available in the top side. We'll be moving bottom in the next 30 seconds. Ada has farmed up one of those tier 4 tokens, and they did spawn a couple of minutes ago. But as of yet, Indiana not able to find them. Everyone's favorite, the Ancient Guardian, coming through on the Wind Ranger. There's even more damage coming through. Wind up to the top net worth on the team, by the way. On the back of the 13 kills, does have about 350 CS to her name. Level 25 just picked up by the Wind as well. Ada gonna be scouted. BKB TP is available. Harpoon course, doesn't cancel that one, so able to escape. And up top, well, Red Wine was being a little bit aggressive, being ambitious up on the high ground. BKB Windrun trying to play himself out of there. Team not coming to his backup, but Red Wine is able to use the Windrun and the Gale Force to escape. Indiana not wanting to chase too far outside of the base either, as they know Toronto could follow up and make their lives forfeit should they leave the base. But it is going to be the second Roshan eventually going down. Roshan's banner going to be acquired as well. Aegis in the hands of Razor. Roshan's banner given over to Lychee King. See where he decides to place this one. I'm actually kind of interested if he places it melee range or if he makes use of that global range. But this guy's picked off inside of that triangle. Standing a little bit too close to the Roche Pit. Refresher Orb acquired as well for the Razor. No Aghanims to work with, so more about the double BKB than the double ult. Just like game number 1, you gotta start to wonder, when is go time? Static Link immediately gonna be cancelled. Jaleigh on the back. Gonna be caught by the Harpoon, but the Glimmer Cape gets him out of danger. The rest of the team for Toronto has backed off. Just 3 heroes down here. Did force out some of the Razor kit. Think about moving his way up to the high ground though, so Mea Culpa doesn't want to wait around for ages. They can't even put any damage into him. The jumps all came forward, but gets him down about half HP. There's still False Promise to work with, and Mea Culpa up on the base. Trying to bait him into the mines, trying to bait the team into the mines, and Altius on the front. They do actually burn off the Aegis. Take down the Centaur first, and now the Rolling Thunder in on the backside. Mea Culpa with the Refresher, gonna pop it. Gonna look for all the kills. They're being pulled into the mines, but who even cares about that? It's Mea Culpa, more than enough HP to work with. Altius able to escape to the fountain, a couple of buybacks as well over the top. Gonna push Toronto back, but it's just gonna push them back into taking the racks like they wanted all along. And Red Wine finds 3, maybe finds a 4th, will do. Just Slark on the front. Scouted out, holy moly, popping all those mines. Red Wine under the tier 4s, wanted the rampage, but gets himself baited in for it. They'll lose a pair underneath the tier 4 towers as they cleaned out the mines at least. Turn around, looking for Ada now. Ada, caught up by the Gleipnir, does go down. 4 heroes in the grave for Indiana, just Altius alive as the Quap's the big one, 113 on the deck, no buyback. Altius not able to take down the Pangolier, it just rolls up into that ball and perfectly safe, perfectly healthy. Lychee King has been instrumental in these fights, providing so much healing throughout all of it.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Mid-rack's gonna be the second target. Spot has already fallen. Mea Culpa just gonna take this one down. Thinking about going underneath the tier 4 towers, but doesn't want to be over aggressive, doesn't want to overdo it. Top lane gonna be the last lane up for Indiana as they desperately holding on to this game number 2, trying to prevent the 2-0 series defeat, but down 40,000 in the net worth department. It feels like it's only a matter of time before University of Toronto are able to clean this game up. Altius still out, still haunting. Looking for the kill onto the Razor. False Promise does come through early, and the Rolling Thunder on the backside. Holy moly. Nice counter initiation there, even going to catch out onto Altius, and with the BKB Shadow Dance trying to escape, trying to play his way out of this one, does have the force step back up to the high ground. Going to be Centaur, who pays with his life for that one. General Lethal, popping the mines. No regard for his own life, does have the borrowed time to work with. Red Wine, one more for the road, why not? The rest of the mines will be taken down in the front. Altius Been dancing around for a long time. This time does go down. GG could be called instead. Buyback gonna be used. Mega's claimed. Trying to take down this wind right outside of the throne screen. It's gonna be off the mark, and inside the fountain they're gonna go as Red Wine wants them all, and he'll have them as well. Oh, maybe you won't quite have him, Altius. Not gonna give him the rampage, but throne will fall. Don't need heroes data when you have the creeps. 2-0, gonna be the series win for University of Toronto. Games maybe a bit longer than they would have wanted, would have anticipated against a team like Indiana, but Toronto maintaining their streak of undefeated series. Very nice game for them, by the way. And yeah, that does wrap up our series. Just switch back over to me. Does wrap up our series. I was just going through to make sure I had some of the numbers right, but with that series win, it's going to put University of Toronto up to 5-0 on the season. And 5-0, I mean, you play 8 series, right? You end up 5-3 at a minimum. I'm just trying to check if that might actually steal the playoffs for them. It might already qualify them for a playoff berth. I'm not sure. I think there would be some potential for some tiebreakers, so they might need one more week, but definitely 6-0 would put them there. Up to 5-0 after this series win, and Indiana going to be down to 2-3 on the season. Still 2-3. It looks like the early results coming in from today's game still going to keep them tied for 4th place at the moment, so going to be heating up as the season does continue and does progress towards the back half. We are in the second half of the season officially, with this being the 5th week of competition, and going to be accelerating as well, as I talked about. Going to have 2 series a week for the remainder of the league, starting this Monday. So our next round going to be starting Monday instead of Wednesday. Do make sure you tune in for that one. But yeah, so this battle for 4th place in the East Coast Division, I really wish I had an updated standings graphic to show you now, but don't have that one auto-updating, so can't pull it over for you, unfortunately. So you have to take my word on it that 3-way tie right now of teams at 2-3. That's Indiana, Brown, and RIT, all sitting at 2-3 in terms of series, tied for 4th. So we're going to have to watch these teams as the rest of the regular season proceeds. It seems as though Georgia Tech, Toronto, and USF all sitting pretty at the top of the division. You know, still time for things to go wrong. Still time for things to go pear-shaped, but it's looking like this battle for the last playoff spot in the East is going to be where the action is, and it's going to be where we tune into in the coming weeks, I'm sure. That is all I'm going to have for today. Going to be coming back at you with a couple of games on Sunday. Have series starting at, I believe, 8 p.m. Eastern. On Sunday, we'll be handling 2 series as well, one at 8 and one at 10:30. And as always, if the first series does go to all 3 games and goes long, we'll just jump into the second series when it's in progress. But yes, Sunday night, 8 p.m., it's going to be Conestoga versus Columbia. And then 10:30, we're going to have UCLA versus Seneca. That's going to be the next cast I bring you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. Congratulations to Toronto for remaining undefeated so far in this season. We'll be looking for more of their games as the rest of the regular season concludes and goes into the playoffs as well. I'm sure we'll be seeing them there. So until Sunday, you know, stay happy, stay cool. I'm Cool Hands, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.